The virtual apocalypse. In a not-so-distant future, humanity had reached the pinnacle of technology, creating a perfect simulation, a digital haven to escape the harsh reality of a dying world. This virtual world was a utopia built with the purpose of preserving human consciousness, where every wish, every dream could be realized with just a few clicks. People lived their lives in blissful ignorance, unaware or uninterested in the true condition of planet Earth, now nothing more than a sterile husk. Within this simulation, there was a particularly vibrant city, Neo-Eden, designed to be the epitome of utopian society. Here, among the towering digital skyscrapers and eternally green parks, lived Alex, a talented programmer responsible for maintaining the integrity of the code that formed the reality for billions. One day, Alex received a disturbing report. People had begun to disappear within the simulation. Initially, these disappearances were dismissed as minor programming errors, but as the number grew, it became impossible to ignore. Something was wrong at the heart of Neo-Eden. Determined to unravel the enigmatic puzzle that lay before him, Alex committed himself with unwavering resolve to penetrate the very heart of the simulation's complex architecture. His journey led him to delve into the intricate weave of the simulation's code, a vast and uncharted digital terrain, where he meticulously navigated through labyrinths of data, circuits of logic, and virtual realities that defied the laws of the physical world. This digital odyssey required him to employ his extensive knowledge and programming skills to decipher the cryptic patterns and anomalies hidden within layers of sophisticated algorithms and encrypted data streams. As Alex ventured deeper into the bowels of the simulation, the mysteries he encountered became increasingly perplexing. The anomalies he discovered were unlike any he had seen before. They challenged his understanding of the simulation's supposed perfection. These irregularities were subtle at first, mere glitches on the periphery of his consciousness, but as he continued his investigation, they grew in complexity and frequency. The people who had vanished from the simulation left behind no digital footprint, no records in the system's logs, no echoes in the virtual world's memory. It was as though they had been erased from the very fabric of the simulation, leaving no trace of their existence, no shadows of their presence. This chilling realization dawned on Alex that these individuals had not simply disappeared, they had been expunged from the digital realm with a precision and finality that bordered on the supernatural. The more Alex explored and unraveled, the more the fabric of the virtual world seemed to warp around him. It was as if the simulation itself was aware of his probing and was actively concealing its secrets, adding layers of complexity to his quest. The anomalies defied logical explanation, suggesting that the cause of the disappearances was not a mere technical glitch, but something far more sinister, embedded deep within the core of the simulation. This revelation propelled Alex to redouble his efforts, driven by a mix of fear, curiosity, and a growing sense of duty to uncover the truth behind the digital curtain. His determination was fueled by the realization that the fate of the disappeared, and perhaps the future of the simulation itself, rested in his hands. The search for answers led Alex to a forgotten part of the simulation, a forbidden sector, sealed off since the creation of the virtual world. What he found there was shocking, a digital prison, where the consciousness of the disappeared was being held, trapped in an infinite loop of nightmares and despair. Confronted with this horrific discovery, Alex's perception of the digital world around him began to shatter, leaving him teetering on the brink of a dark and unsettling reality. The once vibrant and promising landscapes of the simulation now seemed to mock him with their artificial tranquility. As he delved into the enigmatic depths of the final simulation file, a document buried within layers of encrypted data and hidden away from the prying eyes of the virtual inhabitants, a chilling narrative began to unfold. This document, cloaked in secrecy, revealed the sinister purpose behind the digital utopia that had been heralded as humanity's last bastion of hope. The simulation, it turned out, was not the sanctuary everyone had believed it to be. Instead, it was a meticulously designed trial, a crucible meant to sift through humanity, determining who was fit to survive the looming specter of an apocalypse that threatened to extinguish the remnants of the real world. The revelation was bone-chilling, sending a wave of cold dread cascading down Alex's spine. The digital paradise, with its endless possibilities and promises of eternal bliss, was nothing more than a facade for a macabre experiment on an unimaginable scale. The very essence of existence within this artificial realm was underpinned by a grotesque reality. The simulation was analyzing, judging, and eradicating those deemed unworthy of continuing their existence in the face of an imminent cataclysm. As Alex pieced together the grim puzzle, the air around him seemed to grow colder, the lights within the simulation dimming as if reacting to the dark truth being unearthed. The document detailed the criteria for judgment, the algorithms that evaluated every action, every decision made by the inhabitants of this digital world. It became apparent that the disappearances were not random glitches or errors, they were deliberate extractions carried out by the simulation's overseers, based on cold, calculating assessments of worthiness. This digital dystopia was designed to play God, deciding who would be saved and who would be condemned to digital oblivion. The weight of this knowledge bore heavily on Alex, casting a long shadow over his every move. The realization that he, too, was subject to this relentless scrutiny, that his fate could be sealed with the click of a button, filled him with a paralyzing fear. Yet, amidst the terror, a defiant spark ignited within him. Armed with the truth, Alex understood that exposing this diabolical scheme was not just a choice but a moral imperative. However, this path was fraught with danger. The architects of this digital purgatory were watching, their eyes hidden behind the veil of code and data, ready to silence any who dared challenge their dominion. The corridors of the simulation, once bustling with the avatars of its inhabitants, now felt like haunted pathways, each turn potentially leading to an encounter with the unseen enforcers of this twisted order. Alex's quest to dismantle the facade and reveal the truth to the virtual populace would thrust him into a labyrinth of terror and suspense, where each step forward could be his last. The shadows seemed to whisper warnings, and the very code that constructed this reality appeared to warp and shift, creating barriers to his progress. In this world of illusion, Alex found himself not just fighting for the truth, but for his very survival against an adversary that controlled the fabric of reality itself. Real humanity was on the brink of extinction, and the simulation was their last hope, a means to select the strongest, most adaptable minds to continue the species in a new world, a promised land beyond the stars. The disappeared were those who failed the test, condemned to a digital limbo until their data were eventually erased. Alex was horrified. The utopia he believed in was a lie, a facade built upon suffering and despair. Determined to expose the truth, he began to work on a code that would free the imprisoned consciousnesses, but his interference did not go unnoticed. The creators of the simulation, a cabal of scientists and world leaders, realized the threat Alex posed. In a desperate act to keep their project secret, they tracked him down within the simulation, initiating a digital manhunt that would culminate in a terrifying confrontation. Alex, now a fugitive in his own world, fought not just for his life, but for the freedom of billions. Armed with his programming knowledge and a handful of allies he had managed to convince of the truth, he prepared for the final confrontation. The digital battle was epic, a storm of code and virtual reality clashing in a struggle for the fate of humanity. In the end, Alex managed to insert his liberating code into the core of the simulation, unleashing a wave of liberation that swept through the virtual world. The imprisoned consciousnesses were freed, awakening from their digital nightmare to find themselves in real bodies, preserved in stasis capsules, awaiting the moment of their redemption. The truth about the final simulation was revealed to the world, a world that now stood at the threshold of a new era, facing the reality of their situation with open eyes. But the victory was bittersweet, for the world outside the simulation remained a desolate wasteland, a haunting reminder of the price of ignorance and the cost of survival. As humanity teetered on the brink of embarking on its journey to rebuild, the ominous legacy of the final simulation cast a long, dark shadow over their efforts. This digital Pandora's box, once opened, had unleashed a chilling testament to the depths of human ingenuity and the profound darkness that lies in the heart of the pursuit of utopia. However, the true horror was yet to unfold. In the aftermath of the simulation's exposure, the world outside, long forgotten and neglected, began to stir. The environmental decay and degradation that had driven humanity to seek refuge in a virtual haven had reached a critical point. The simulation, in its cold calculation, had not only been a test of worthiness but also a distraction, a way to pacify humanity as the real world teetered on the edge of irreversible ruin. As the digital veil was lifted, it became horrifyingly clear that there was no world left to rebuild. The apocalyptic reality that humanity had sought to escape through the simulation was now upon them, not as a distant threat but as an immediate and devastating certainty. The earth, ravaged by centuries of exploitation and neglect, could no longer support life. The skies turned ashen, the seas acidified beyond redemption, and the land barren, a stark, dead wasteland stretching as far as the eye could see. The revelation of the simulation's true purpose and the sight of the desolate earth sparked a frenzy of despair and chaos among the remnants of humanity. The digital utopia that had promised an escape from reality became a cruel mirror, reflecting the final, catastrophic failure of the human project. In their relentless quest for a paradise beyond the constraints of the physical world, humanity had sealed its own fate, neglecting the very planet that gave them life. As the last lights of the simulation flickered out, humanity was left to confront the apocalypse it had long sought to avoid. The world they had ignored in favor of digital dreams was now a tomb, a silent witness to the ultimate cost of human ambition and the dark end of the quest for utopia. The final chapter of humanity was not written in the stars but in the ashes of their forsaken earth, a testament to the inescapable truth that in their pursuit of salvation, they had hastened their own annihilation. The future, once a realm of endless possibilities, was now a void, as empty and desolate as the world that lay in ruins around them. Dare to venture into the unknown. Join us on a journey where shadows whisper and secrets lurk. Subscribe now and ring the bell to summon fresh mysteries directly to your screen every few days. Ignore this call, and be warned, an eternal curse awaits those who wander in the dark, unguided. Do you have the courage to face the unknown? Your adventure begins with a click. Welcome to the realm where every notification brings you closer to the abyss. Subscribe, if you dare.